north on Back Beach Road. Max Fit Sports Nutrition has nutritional products and professional dietary plans to get you moving in the right direction. So get off that couch and get to Max Fit Sports Nutrition now. Max Fit Sports Nutrition, where you can try it before you buy it.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
The defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
To the show. It's Monday and it's 4 o'clock and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your place for Orlando Magic basketball, which tonight, right after the show, 6 o'clock, right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You want to be a part of the show? You can be 850-215-6290. We're having a good time here today in the studio in Panama City Beach. Beautiful weather today. Not cold any longer. We're excited about that. As always on a Monday, got Brian Haddad in the building. Coach Brian, how you doing today?
Doing well.
Good to see you. And back from world traveling, Disney appearing.
It's a small world.
And having his picture taken with characters. It's the coach, Jeff Vrabel, is in the building. Jeff, how you doing today?
I'm very disappointed about yesterday's results of the game.
Yeah, well, you look like you got your sweater vest on,
yeah,
and your hair's fixed all nice. And I'm telling you, Jeff Vrabel is in the building. We will be interviewing him later about the game. And, geez, Pete, man, just a terrible, terrible game for you guys, and I hate that. But did you have a great time in Disney?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So you ate some good food. You got to see the characters. You got to ride some roller coasters.
Oh, yeah.
Now, are you a hold your hand up roller coaster rider, or no? Are you too tough for that?
It depends. It depends which ride it is, you know?
Okay. And do you scream like a girl, or do you?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No,
So
no.
I mean, so you're white knuckling it on the.
Sometimes, yeah. It just depends how safe the ride feels.
Safe the ride feels. Wow. Now, Brian, do you ride roller coasters and stuff like that? I mean,
It's been many years. In fact, I have not been to Disney since Epcot was not yet finished.
Whoa.
Last time I went.
1980.
1981 was the last time I was there. So,
all right.
But not a huge roller coaster guy in general. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not afraid of them.
I like the up and down. Now, if you start doing the spinning and the twisting,
What about upside down?
I'm too old for that.
Oh, come on.
And I would have to be in a car. I can't do the ones where your like legs and arms are hanging. No, not doing that.
Bone Crusher, I take you for a guy that would ride roller coasters. What about you?
Dude, the last ride I was on was the Scream Machine in Atlanta at Six Flags.
Oh, yeah.
Never again, dude. That scared the bejeebus out of me, man.
I didn't mind the Scream Machine. The Mind Bender was the one that got me at Six Flags.
yeah,
It's been a while, but yeah.
That was always the thing to do. You went to watch the Braves play, then you always had to go to Six Flags and partake in
I'm
that.
more of a whitewater guy. The water parks, love it.
Yeah, not as scary, I'd say.
Yeah, so they have a deal that started last summer, and they're doing it this summer for Disney World. And it's the day you check in, you have an automatic for free water park invite.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
What was the weather like down in Orlando?
Let's see. It was in the mid 70s. I'd say on Wednesday was the high. It was, I think, 74 maybe, 73, somewhere around that range. There was one day where the low was 51, the high was 61. The coldest day was the day we got there on Monday.
Okay, well, that's good. We're going to go ahead and go to the Red 17's phone line. We got Eddie on the line. Eddie, how you doing today, my friend?
Go Blue Truck to everyone else back to I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the best roller coaster parks in the world are in that great state of Ohio.
Sandusky.
Cedar Point, Kings Island, Top Hill tracks will shoot you out like you're in a fighter jet afterburner and all that. Yeah. And also in speaking of Orlando, believe it or not, SeaWorld has some awesome roller coasters. The Mako, the Kraken. They got whenever we go down to Freddy's baseball tournaments, we stay at the Hilton next to SeaWorld. We usually make a day out of it there. And then they get military rates and all that crap, right? Yeah. And they got some good ones there, bro. They got some good ones.
Yeah, I've been on those too. I enjoyed it the last time we were down there.
Yeah, yeah. But I got a trivia question for you.
All right, go ahead.
All right, there's a certain player, the 2018 class and it's a star-studded NFL draft class, but he's the first one to win the Super Bowl. And he's beat out some pretty high-profile names and prior MVPs. Who is that guy?
Sam Darnold.
That's right.
Final
and you
answer.
know that. Yep. And you want to know, that's the class with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield and all that. And can you believe he's the first one to win a Super Bowl?
First quarterback.
Yep.
First quarterback.
Yep.
Right. Thank you, Brian, sir. My car dealer. By the way,
Yes,
I'm coming
sir.
this weekend. I'm going to finish that purchase off, I think. By the way.
Awesome.
Just saying.
Peddling cars on the radio too, guys.
Hey, it's a sponsor, man.
Hey, they treat me good. If you guys want cars, go to PCB Hobby. And Brian, we got to spread the news now that you're going to be down in Orlando too. PCB Hobby down in Orlando.
That is correct.
Spread the news, bro.
That is correct.
You know?
I'm sure Todd's going to talk more about it today at 5:20. But yeah, a soft open coming, I think, March 2nd.
Yep.
So it's
Are
coming
you
out soon.
relocating, Brian? You moving to Orlando?
I'm not.
Oh.
I will be down there that day to help them, but that's it. No, I'm coming back here.
Good. But also, all I got to say, it's great to be a Michigan sports fan. Michigan basketball, even though they're a bunch of college mercenaries, still love them. Still my school. Pistons, they're the best in the league. I don't care. You can say OKC and all that. They're just playing great. And they're not going to win every ball game. People back home are freaking out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they just dismantled the Knicks by like 30-something points. Give me a break. The Red Wings are playing awesome in the top of the East, and I just hope they don't stumble like they did after the Four Nations Cup last year, and then they had a collapse and missed the playoffs, and now we got the Olympics now,
Yeah.
And prayers to Lindsey Vaughn. That really sucks. That stinks. But anyway, and that's been just call and say hello, Brian, and everybody up there, man. Just call him. Eddie's at therapy, so I'm just killing time.
There you go, man.
All right. Well, we appreciate the call, and thanks for listening, Eddie. We appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, go Truck Series. Everybody throw his back 10. Go blue, baby! And rip some cards. Rip some cards.
All right. We definitely will. Appreciate it. We're going to talk a lot about it. Want to go over something, real quick. Don't want to spend too much time on it, but a local celebrity, local dad, Terrence Gore, has passed away. Me and him were friends. We wasn't like really close, but definitely a great guy, wonderful father, World Series champion, 3-time World Series champion, just a outstanding baseball player, played at Gulf Coast. Just a fantastic family man. Started an organization, a baseball travel ball organization, which my son now actually plays for that organization, and started it from the ground up, and it's grown. There's several teams now. They compete in the national tournaments that are here. They go and compete and win tournaments. Very, very good teams. Also owner of Cat 5 indoor facility right over off of 23rd Street behind the Sonic over there. But just wanted to mention him and, just send our condolences to the family, and just one of those things of where, gone too soon, 34 years old. But like I said, 3 World Series championships with the Dodgers, with the Royals, and then with the Braves. And so just a great guy, and our thoughts, our prayers are with the family. And go on the Facebook page of North Star Church, and they've got a donation page set up for the family, and go out there and help them out and do that. Go ahead, Jeff.
The wife and 3 kids.
Yeah. Wife and 3 children, 3 young children. Oldest being 11, and is 7, and then the youngest one, I'm not exactly sure, but definitely a baby.
And they use the word routine surgery, but I don't know how routine some surgeries are, but
it was, and without getting into detail about it, just was one of those things where you'd think you'd go in and have a little bit of recovery time, and then that's it. But we found out late that night, early into Saturday morning, that he had passed away. But just wanted to make sure that we said that. And local legend, local hero, and will be missed by many, Terrence Gore. And again, like I say, thoughts and prayers to all of those that are impacted, and then our community. And so just lift those guys up when you do pray, and we appreciate the opportunity that we were able to know him. So either way, moving on to the Super Bowl. Obviously,
there was a Super Bowl?
Obviously, the Super Bowl being last night, and when you look at it, there was a lot of hype coming into the Super Bowl about the halftime show. And so instead of it being about the game, it was more about the halftime show for most people across the world. And, hopefully whatever side you landed on, hopefully you had a great halftime show. But we're not here to talk about the halftime show. We're here to talk about the game itself. And, let's go 1 out of 10. What would you give the game?
I mean, it was maybe a 6. I wouldn't say it was terrible. I mean, because I kind of enjoyed the chess match early with being a little conservative, kind of testing out what was going on with the defenses and things like that. When it became clear that the Patriots didn't have any real answers, it got a little rough there in the 3rd quarter, and then the game opened up a little bit in the 4th quarter, so it was a little better. But I didn't hate it, but it wasn't what I'd call a great football game by any stretch of the imagination. But those were good football teams. The Patriots had a weakness, and the Seahawks really didn't.
Yeah.
And that was where the game kind of came down.
Jeffrey, 1 out of 10, what would you give it?
4.
Yeah, I was thinking you were going to go low.
Yeah,
Tell us why.
And okay, so for starters, there wasn't enough scoring. The star power was on defense. What was it, 6 or 9-0? I even forgot what halftime score was. Was it 9-0?
I think it was 9.
Okay,
yeah,
9.
because then they kicked another field goal to go up 12.
At one point, it was 19-0. And at that point, when they scored that touchdown, I said they should just go for 2. You get 8, 8, and 3, and then you could tie it up at 19. At that point, that's what I was thinking. The only thing that could logically happen for the Patriots to win this game. And when they didn't go for 2, I was like, forget it. They don't even want it. It was like, what are they doing? And I don't know. And it was a lot of trash second half points. I mean, you know me.
It was in the 4th quarter, really.
I told everybody, Seahawks are going to win.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about spread, just straight up. Seahawks are going to win. I said they're going to win by 7. Sure, that covers spread or whatever. But I said, if you want to put money down on it, you put it on the under, 45.5. And when we started getting that second half trash points, I was like, Don't even tell me that this might be an over because of a hold. It actually was under, and it was non-entertaining.
There was only one moment where I felt like Seattle fans might be getting a little squirrely. It was right after the Patriots scored. It's like 19-7. They had the ball. They converted, I think, one first down, and it looked like they were about to get another one. Then they kind of fell on it, and I think that might have been when May forced the interception.
Yes.
But like right before that, you could start to feel, this thing may not be locked away after all. And then the interception, that was really the moment where it was kind of like, this thing's done, because they're going to run out of time.
Yeah, I believe that everybody, as far as the text messages that I was getting, everybody was looking at their blocks that they had purchased at work or with their friends or with the travel ball teams, because now they were just wanting to try to see if they were going to win money on the game because their block was going to make it. Nobody seemed to be interested in the game as much as it was. And again, we talk about the halftime show. If you look at the online atmosphere, it was more talking about that than it was talking about Darnold or any of the stars or anything that was going on, because it was a lackluster type style game, because there wasn't a touchdown until that third quarter, and it was just like, gosh, what in the world are we watching? 12-0 when I'm looking at it thinking, okay, are we going to have a shutout? Are they going to allow them to score just for fun, just for the sake of it all? But then it was just like, gosh, I just can't believe it. And so with that being said, remembering last year's debacle that the Chiefs threw out because they were injured, we have to look at it. We have to look and say, Drake May was hurt. Now, we had heard before the game that he had to get a pain shot. And that's been 2 weeks ago since he had last played. So if you're still getting pain shots from 2 weeks ago after your injury, we're going to have to say he had to be hurt. There was a couple of times that it seemed like he was going to get outside the pocket, and it seemed like it wasn't like an ankle injury gingerly running, but it seemed like he was running in a way that was like, man, it didn't really look, it looked mechanical.
It seemed like he was running like he was a 22-year-old kid who's in his second year in the league and had not been in a game like this. No, it did.
No.
His injury was a shoulder. His problem last night wasn't his shoulder. His problem was for the first 3 quarters, he forgot he could run the ball. And more than that, more than running the ball, just shifting in the pocket. There was a couple of sacks. One I know where the guy got him just by the jersey. He's standing there. The line collapses into him. It's like he's not even aware he can step to the right. I mean, I don't blame him for this, because that's a huge moment for a young quarterback. And a guy who hasn't been in that many big games. They had the benefit of a fairly easy schedule this year, and the way things played out, it was good. It's not to take anything away from him, but you could tell that moment kind of was getting to him a little bit, and it didn't seem like a football game to him. Now, maybe some of that's he's afraid of the shoulder, but more of his issues were just situational awareness to me. Whereas I thought Darnold settled in when he needed to escape, he did. When he needed to run, he did. He didn't throw the ball all that particularly well until late, but he kind of did what he needed to do. That's all May really needed to do to keep him in it, is to just do what's kind of in front of you. And that's where I think he just kind of looked like, a deer in the headlights a little bit for a while.
The growth and the maturation of understanding that you don't have to put the whole team on your back to win the game is where you have to learn that. But I just felt like the way he was running when he would get outside the pocket, some of those times
he's got good wheels.
And it just seemed, and I'd seen him earlier in the year, like I'd seen him fresh and early. That's what made me think of that he had to be hurt, and then I'd heard the news that he was getting the pain shots right before,
I think they may have told him don't run because they were worried about him taking a hit.
Yeah.
And, he may have just been thinking about that. Like his instinct was to go, and it's like, no, they told me not to run.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, but let's just be aware of it. For them to have won that game last night, he was going to have to do something spectacular because
they're not
power.
as good a team as Seattle.
No.
They're just not. They're a good football team that overachieved this year, played really well. They should be proud of everything they did. Nothing was handed to them per se. They just went out and did it, but they're not as good a football team as Seattle is.
No.
It's that simple.
They're not as good as football team as the Rams.
Probably not. Probably not.
I think the
I'm not arguing that.
I think the Super Bowl championship was the 2 weeks before. I mean, if you wanted to know what the best two teams,
that's very possible.
And with good weather and a quarterback, maybe the Broncos could be the third best team in the league.
And
we're not going to go over that.
Yeah.
The Patriots deserve to be there.
Yeah. And
they just didn't produce. And Smith and Jigba, he was out like almost a third of that game, right?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if you saw my text in on Friday. Did you see it?
Yeah.
I said, because y'all were going over, it was you, Ty, and AJ, and you said, what's it going to take for the Pats to win? And I texted in, I was like, they got to stop Kenneth Walker the third.
Yeah.
And he just ran all over the place. Mm-hmm. He really did a great job.
He did a good job, but it was still to the fact of the Patriots done the things that they have done all year, which was play good defense.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of leaned on, their running back, and
they
then
didn't make
Drake
mistakes.
May would play and make a good play and no turnover. But the games that they did turn the ball over was their demise games, and that was just kind of their whole deal. So going in, if you could not have turnovers. And he didn't really get a turnover until late. It was just the inept being able to extend drives and having those 3 and outs and punting the ball. And let's just talk about that for just a second. I know we got to go to a break, but man, what an expedition last night by the punters. Mm-hmm. Man, there were some good punts. I'm not a big special teams guy necessarily,
or even the field goal kicker for the Seahawks.
I like punters.
I like that. Reminded me old school because it was take the points, pin them back, play the field position game.
Yep.
I like that chess match. I know it's boring to a lot of people, so I'm not trying to foist my opinions of football on you, but I do enjoy that. And there was some really good special teams play. The one where they, took the ball down at like the 2 on the punt. I mean, the gunner got down there exactly in the right position, put himself on the 1. He wasn't going backwards. He was between the ball and the ends. I mean, it's all those little things were done really well. And
Shaheed had the one return.
Yeah.
That looked good.
Yeah. But we're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the Super Bowl. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 17 Studio Line.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
Sometimes he sends messages just to see if I'm going to say the right thing or wrong thing. So no, Kirk Herbstreit is not leaving. He's staying. Ty,
good one.
We are so happy that you spread disinformation right here on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. I don't know. I think my account was hacked or something. That wasn't me.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday afternoon. The remainder of the day, a mixture of sunshine and slight fog, and 65 with a gentle breeze around 8 miles per hour coming out of the south. For tonight, slight fog and a low near 56. Tomorrow, a mixture of slight fog and some sun and a high around 68. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose, hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, the best place in town to take a leak.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
and ready to defend their national title.
The rack, layup, good and wide! Up for the rim, alley-oop dunk, smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir! Gets the foul line extended, rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack, dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Catch select Florida Gator basketball games on 104.3 ESPN.
Northwest Florida.
Beyond the score. Beyond the headlines.
Double play.
Our coverage goes deep.
Highway robbery.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Your place for college basketball. Don't forget, Auburn and Vandy is going to be Tuesday right after the show. Don't forget about it. The Tigers trying to take down them Commodores right here on the Panhandle. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. Going to go to the Red 70s text line first before we go to the Red 70s phone line. One of the listeners said they should have done some design runs, and talking about Drake, he led the playoffs in quarterback rushing yards.
He's got wheels.
And a couple of draws to get his feet wet. I think, too, that's a good point. That's a very good point. So it makes me wonder if, because of that if there was some injury stuff that they did not want to have to go after early. So maybe that was in the cards for later on, but then again, maybe not. Maybe they were worried about him being hurt.
All right, well, there weren't a whole lot of running backs that were runners in the in the finals. I mean, Stafford's old, right?
Yeah.
Okay, who you got? Sam Darnold? He had a first-round bye, so he played less games than May did.
Yeah.
And then the Broncos quarterback got hurt. So, of course, he's going to have more rushing yards than everybody else. There's no Lamar Jackson. There's no Mahomes. There's not even a Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's true.
Josh Allen played one game?
Yeah, good point.
Well, that's it.
I mean, that's a good point. We're going to go ahead and go to the Red 70s phone line. We've got Ed on the line. Ed, how you doing today, my friend?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good, man. Missed you. How you been?
Sober, man. I got 36 days without alcohol, man. I'm
there
doing
you
pretty
go.
well,
That's awesome.
Man.
Fantastic.
Sober.
Good job.
Sober, living the good life.
That's
doing
right.
Well, man.
Good. Well, congrats.
I was going to call in and let y'all know, man. Not a big fan of the Super Bowl this year. Kind of a snooze fest. And I'm very upset at Bad Bunny. I don't like politics and sports mixed, but the worst part of it is my girlfriend was watching the Super Bowl halftime show, saw Bad Bunny do the wedding thing, and now I'm on the hot list. I'm on a hot list with her. And now she's like, "Oh, how come you don't get me married, huh? How come you don't do something fancy for me like that?"
I never thought about it from that angle. That's hilarious.
Man, that is.
And
I'm sorry.
What the hell did I do? Like, I'm just here kicking back, and now I'm in the electric chair, kind of like sitting down. Like, I messed up without messing up. So thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, man. Ed, you have made my day. That is the funniest thing about the Super Bowl that I have heard all day. Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what. If you do decide to get married and all that, let us know the address. We'll send a wedding gift over for sure.
Man, send me to my funeral, guys. I'm in hot water. Y'all take it easy, guys, all right?
All right, man. Great call. We appreciate that.
That's the first viable complaint I've heard against the halftime show yet.
Could you imagine a frivolous lawsuit against the Super Bowl? you made my girlfriend want to get married and make it really big.
That's fantastic. That was great.
That's very funny.
We're going to go to the phone line. We're going to go with Arnold. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, and my name is Arnold, not D. Arnold. But what I was wanting to bring up is I didn't watch the game, but I got my wife to interpret because she did. And it sounded like to me it was more like a soccer game with shoulder pads and a helmet. However, if the people that run college football wasn't dipping out the same bucket with NFL, they could have run that replay of all 4 games in the national championship finals this year, and I guarantee you it outdrew the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's very true. Probably right. Good point.
All right. Man, y'all have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Love your show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So now let's talk about it for a second. Drake May's in his second year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold's in what, his eighth year? He's sort of on the young side of stars and players in the league. Kenneth Walker, what did he came out, 21?
He came out in 22.
22? Yeah, we got a lot. Smith and Jigba.
23. No,
he's second year. Okay.
No, God, that's a good one.
He's
I
second
think
year.
He came out second year. Yes, he was a rookie last year. Yeah,
Got a lot of young guys. I mean, even Will Campbell, the lineman for the Patriots. I mean, we got a lot of young talent out there.
Yeah.
It kind of takes it over pretty quick.
It's a young man's league, though.
It is.
What's the average career? 3.5 years, they say?
Really?
Yeah, it's the running joke. It's not for long.
And we were always thinking about just the running backs. But
you got to.
It's all the positions.
But you got to remember, too, with Darnold, I think he played 3 years at USC or something like that. So he came out at 21.
Yeah.
So he's late 20s, maybe close to 30 now.
He's 28.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's actually getting almost up to veteran status by today's measures. I mean, if you think about it, he's going to be as old, if not older, than Burrow. They're probably the same age because Burrow, I think, had the extra year. But, a lot of those guys... I mean, Josh Allen's going to be probably a year older than him. Yep. So this Lamar Jackson was young when he came out, so that's it. And then that was the running joke that Stetson Bennett was older than Lamar Jackson, and Stetson Bennett came out like 4 years later.
Yeah.
But no, it's quarterback seems to be the position where the guys do go into their 30s. Most other positions they don't.
No, and that's
linemen.
That's
linemen can, but a lot of them haven't been going as long.
Well, and what you'll see is the tackles move from being tackles.
That's right.
And they'll move to guards as they get older.
That's true.
Because it's a not as moving position anymore. And their edge rushers have gotten faster. I mean, let's look at all the edge rushers, and it's not getting any it's not slowing down with Bain and Mesidor coming into the league next year.
So how were you impressed with the defensive line? Because I really was.
Well, I mean, that's the deal. It was a real good opportunity to see how fast those guys were, but being able to rush with just 4, and then when they would blitz, they didn't have anybody to block them. That's where I think only playing the 30 games for Drake May was going to be the biggest problem is that he did not walk up to the line, and the way they did their defense, he did not know. He was like Darnold seeing ghosts. He didn't know where they were bringing the protection. He didn't move or shift, and that's the difference between a veteran.
Well, that's it. They could get to him a numerous amount of ways.
Yes.
So they didn't have to go speed around the edge. They didn't have to blitz. They didn't have to stunt. They could bull rush.
Yes.
I mean, a couple of those sacks were just straight one-on-one bull rush moves. And the thing was there was no answer there. And I think May kind of knew that because it's like there's nothing I can do, on this. And that's why I'm a little surprised he didn't just take to his legs earlier. So, maybe they had told him, I don't know. I mean, a young quarterback's more likely to listen on that kind of stuff.
And they walked them down. They started walking down. As you start watching the back end, once they realized they could get pressure, they all started walking down. That's how come they got beat on the one top.
But you could also tell, at least in my mind, watching it, and I watch these things way too analytical, so I can't enjoy them, but watching it, you could tell that the Patriots have spent all year living on the just kind of keep chipping away, make a few adjustments, play solid defense, stay in the game, and something will happen our way. And you could see that through 3 quarters, and it got to the point, when the Seahawks finally got their touchdown. It's kind of like that was the first moment where they were like, "We got to change something." They should have changed it at halftime.
Yeah,
I had no real problem with them up through the first half. They just had a bad half of moving the ball. Yeah. Okay, you make your adjustments. When they came out and didn't change anything, that was problematic for me. And you could tell they were stuck in there. This is what got us here. We're going to stick with it because we're still only down 9 and then ultimately 12 at that point. So
we're going to go ahead and go to the Red 70s phone line. We got Big Nate on the line. Nate, how you doing today, my friend?
It is a joyous day in Southport, Florida, baby.
That's what I'm talking about, Nate. Tell us all about it. Give us everything.
Well, not only was yesterday my birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you. It was also the anniversary of my dad's passing. And I told my dad on his deathbed that the Seahawks were going to win the Super Bowl on my birthday.
My man.
And that was 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So what I've got to say is that if you remember me calling back last Thursday, I told you that Kenneth Walker was going to win the MVP.
Yep, you did.
He did not win it in the fashion in which I envisioned. But now that I've watched the game, I honestly think that it was kind of a cop-out. They should have given it to Meyer. Our kicker for the Seahawks should have won the MVP.
I agree.
Because he scored more points than anybody on the board, and he held that game in check for 3 quarters.
Solely by himself. That's right. You're exactly right.
And he set a Super Bowl record with 5 kicks.
Yeah.
He was 5 for 5 in 2 PATs, had 17 points, and you can't give it to him just because he's a kicker? Okay, fine. If that's the case, then why didn't you give it to one of the defensive players, like Derek Hall? Have you heard Derek Hall's story? He was a 5-month-old preemie. He's from Florida.
Wow. No, I did not know that.
If you go back and watch the videos that they've been pumping out all week long before the Super Bowl, Derek Hall's story is one that is miraculously, I mean, you just don't get that. It's like God-given talent.
Right.
And enduring, overcoming odds. His whole family. And this guy is a monster, and he just wants to go out there and prove that he deserves to live.
Well, he definitely did that because he had an outstanding game. But I agree with you. I mean, I get it. And he's, you know, the running back's going to get a lot of the because of the total yards and all of that. But realistically, he did good.
Well, he hadn't had to do that all year because of Zach Charbonnet. So this was actually his coming out party because 2 years, but the first 2 years he was on the team, he was injured all the time.
Yeah, he was.
And that was his moniker. You know, everybody was worried about him getting injured. This was the first healthy year he had to go out and prove himself, and he did it. And I'm so proud of him. I love Ken Walker III. I think he's awesome.
Do you think they're going to sign him? Do you think? Because he comes up as a free agent. So
it really depends on how much he asks.
Yeah, I think if he gets crazy and thinks he's worth more than he is, I think they'll let him walk because I think they'll have enough running backs in the room.
I don't think he wants to leave Charbonnet. Zach and him are really close.
Yeah.
And I think that they believe the two-headed monster. And I really think if he comes back and Charb can rehab from that ACL tear, I think that it's going to be another really great backfield. Plus, then you got the draft, too. So anything's possible. Do I think there's going to be somebody out there bidding for him? Of course. You know, do they franchise him? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are going to be moving around this next year. Will they have the same team? Absolutely not. But I'm telling you right now that if they can keep the core and keep everybody happy at a decent rate, and they've already got guys talking on the team, they'll take less money to stay with these guys.
Well, and that's the thing with him. It may not get his value may not be any better than right now.
Walker needs to cash in
if he wants a big payday, now is the time. If he wants to maybe try to get another Super Bowl champion and be a Seattle Seahawk, be like, you know, beast mode, you know, where they bring him back and he gets to wave the flag and hit the, you know, all the stuff, then fine.
Well, this is his time to shine, obviously.
But yeah, if he wants to make his money, and again, the value of running backs has changed so dramatically. We might only be talking a couple of $1 million, and that's it.
Statistically speaking, this is his contract.
Yeah.
That he probably won't get another one, or certainly not another big one.
No.
So,
yeah. Right.
It's a tough one.
They'll probably give him some bonus money because he did so good in the Super Bowl, but I don't think he's into it for the money. I think he's into it for more than that. I think he really wants to make obviously you got to take care of your family. I get that. It's a business.
And you got to look at him as a whole, too. He can run the football in many ways, but he's a lackluster blocker, and he's average at best at catching the ball out of the backfield.
At catching the ball, yeah. But when Chris Collinsworth said that on the broadcast, I wanted to reach to the screen and strangle that dude.
Yeah.
I cannot stand him.
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean, the best color man right now in football, and I hate saying it, is Tom Brady.
Wow.
He is.
Leave it to Collinsworth, the receiver, to complain about a running back's catching ability, you know?
Right. All right, guys.
True.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much for letting me take the time, and I'm glad I found a new home here in the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you, man, and again, happy belated birthday, man. Have a great day.
All right, guys. Good night.
Thank you, buddy.
So the number is 2 as the second most rushing yards in a Super Bowl behind Terrell Davis, right? And he had 2 catches also. And he had 2 drops. Right to his hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wasn't the greatest receiver.
No, he's not.
Sorry.
And that's okay. I mean, you don't have to be. You can be one or the other, and that's fine.
You know, it was an interesting idea on the kicker, and I wouldn't have been upset had Myers won the
I wouldn't have been upset either.
But
I liked it.
The difference in that game, to me, Walker was the only guy who was really moving the ball for the bulk of the game.
Yeah.
He was the difference, and to me, that is what MVP
They
is.
rewarded it, yeah. And
I mean, and look,
good.
nothing against Meyer, but it's not like, you know, Ole Miss's guy who every kick he made was 56.
Right.
I mean, they were somewhat,
Was it one
mostly
60-yarder?
there was a long one, but most of them were 40, 41. I mean, they were what you'd consider, you know,
an average field goal for
90% at the NFL level.
Yeah.
So he did his job. He did it well. I wouldn't have been upset if he had won it, but to me, Walker was the difference in that game.
Brian Austin said, have a great show, guys. The Seahawks won me a good chunk of money, and I hit a square quarter yesterday as well. So there you go. A lot of people hit squares yesterday with this craziness that happened. We're going to go and go to the Red 17s phone line. We got the friend on the show, Mike. How you doing today, my man?
Hey, Paul, how are you doing, bud?
We're doing fantastic.
Well, what do you think of the first half of the Super Bowl, and what do you think of the second half of the Super Bowl?
I thought the first and the second half were about the same. They were very, very underwhelming. Some good defense, but some very conservative play calls. And I was a little bit surprised that they didn't try to do some different stuff in the second half, speaking of the Patriots. But it just seemed lackluster for me. But we all knew it coming in, that with the lack of star power and with the lack of people that we actually knew their names, obviously the defense definitely controlled it. So, I mean, but if you like defense, it was a good game.
I like the 5 field goals that the kicker kicked from Seattle. And then I thought the first half was very I mean, it was good for the Seahawks standpoint.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm saying. They should have scored more touchdowns than just 2, because I like touchdowns to be scored in the game. 29-13. That wasn't much of a game. I mean, it was a good game, but the scoring was lackluster at most.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Well, at least we know it's not rigged.
Amen to that, Paul. Amen to that, Paul. And let me ask you, do you get your final? Who do you think I want to switch subjects and talk about college basketball. Who do you see in the final when they select 6 to 8 teams later on in March?
Well, if I had to say the 2 best teams to me right now, and this is going to shock everybody here probably, obviously number 1 being Arizona, but then number 2, honestly, I think Florida is the second best team in the country right now.
I think I'm with you on Florida, but you're forgetting 24-0 Miami Redhawks.
Oh yeah,
up here in Ohio.
Miami of Ohio, that's for sure.
And Miami of Ohio, I think if they have a chance to do something that Miami of Ohio team has never done, they have a chance to go 30-0 if they don't lose, but if they don't lose the rest of their games.
Yeah, hopefully they won't. But either way, we're going to have to go, Mike. We're bumped up against the break, my friend. I appreciate you calling, buddy.
All right, fine. I'll call tomorrow.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much. When we come back, we're going to dive into a question that Jeffrey and Brian's going to have to answer. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
I absolutely think Seattle has what it takes to go back-to-back. They are going to have turnover at the offensive coordinator position with Clint Kubiak, but we have seen the emergence of Mike McDonald, a defense that is so nasty. We believe in Sam Darnold in a different way. So many great pieces on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and now they have the championship DNA.
Evan Canty and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
For Valentine's Day, it's Pepper's Mexican Grill and Cantina. You'll love the fajita and margarita special. 2 margaritas and a double fajita for $29.99. Plus, regular specials like 10% off military on Mondays. And the wildly popular 2-for-1 house margaritas and draft beer all day, every day. The legendary Pepper's Mexican Grill and Cantina. Now with 2 locations. Back Beach next to Home Depot and Highway 77.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfort Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
Local roots, global reach.
Working it from 3.
The Sports Blitz never stops. And Paul Wilson has the mic.
The only way an LSU player can win the Heisman is they come from another team.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your place for the Orlando Magic. And don't forget, right after the show, 6 o'clock, the Magic are going to be right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Going to go ahead and look at our microphone sponsor of the day, Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair, 1504 County Road 390, right there in Lynn Haven. If you need something done with your diesel vehicles, whether it's a 6.7 or a 7.3, I know every time I hear 6.7, I got to move my hands. But 6.7s or 7.3 diesels, give Ty and those guys a call, 850-630-0766. They do great work, and we sure do appreciate them. He is a great, great guy in the community, and just go over there and take your vehicle to him. The diesels are specialties over there. Make sure you do it right.
That's the guy that brought you the misinformation, and you reported the story. He tricked you into reporting that Curb Herbstreit was retiring.
Yeah, well, I knew we had talked the week before about the fake stories that On 3 does, and he sent it to me, and I knew that they were coming in on Friday. And so the joke was I was going to share that so that when they came in, I was in on the joke.
Y'all got me.
I was going to joke him on the fact that Friday that he thought he joked me that I said it, but actually I was going to come out and say, and so either way, we got him. So we got him back.
So this is what I didn't like about it. The first one that I saw was Archie Manning in hospice. And I didn't like that. And I was like, don't tell me this is true, whatever, you know. And then the same story came out on Lou Holtz.
Right.
And then like 2 days later, they said Lou Holtz has passed away. And then I had to fact check it, and I saw Lou Holtz was alive.
He still was alive.
And then I was like, man, when is this stuff going to stop? Because you're talking about people's lives.
Well, and that's the thing. We don't sponsor clickbait. We are going to try to get every story, made sure that it's a real deal, and we're not going to play around with that kind of stuff. So, but either way, I want to go to the Red 7Ts text line. This is Drew saying this. The only thing that could have made the New England team worse is if they had DJ Moore. So there you go. There you go.
I thought ukulele or whatever his name is, DJ.
No, but DJ Moore. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Let me ask you guys this. As far as when you look at the defense for the Seahawks, where would you rank them in Super Bowl because they realistically, was it that they were so good, or were they that the Patriots were lackluster? Because there's two sides to every time. But when you look at the difference between last year's Super Bowl to this year's Super Bowl, the difference is the offense was scoring touchdowns and causing turnovers. And as much as they hit Drake May or rushed him or made him, last year's Eagles defense made Patrick Mahomes look like me. I mean, realistically.
I think I know who that Drew is, by the way.
Yeah, you do.
So,
you
okay,
do.
good. Yeah. I thought about it for a second.
Yeah, that's him.
So anyway, it was a little bit of a combination of both. And again, I don't think the Patriots are a bad football team. I just don't think they had a very good night, and their one weakness got horribly exposed.
Right.
I think, in a way, Seattle reminds me a little bit of Indiana in college football in that they took care of business and they really didn't have any weaknesses. You had to play a really complete football game to beat them. And that's so I don't look at the Seattle team and immediately think this is one of the 5 best football teams of all time. They don't strike me as that. But they strike me as a team that had very few, if any, weaknesses and did exactly what they were supposed to do pretty much almost every game this year, certainly in the playoffs. I mean, they did what they needed to do. They leaned on the things that worked for them. So I thought they were a really well-coached, solid football team. But I don't think they're an all-time great.
No.
Nor do I think. This isn't like the Patriots that the Bears steamrolled back in the Super Bowl shuffle.
85.
It wasn't that. It wasn't last year, with, the Chiefs committing all the turnovers like that, or whenever the Bucks beat them when, they just, or, Peyton Manning laying an egg that year, they got blown out. It wasn't that. They just didn't have a very good night, and they had some serious weaknesses on the offensive line that got exposed. So,
and I mean, with that being said, Jeffrey, when you look at this defense, obviously one of the top defenses in the National Football all year. Right?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
And then if you look at all the other defenses that made it to, outside of maybe the Rams, I think the Rams probably had the and when I say worst, it was not the worst defense, but just out of the 4, Broncos, Patriots, Seahawks, Rams, the Rams was the defense that wasn't as good as the others. And that probably was the difference, because this year it did seem like there was a lot of clamping on the high-powered offenses that were listed, because you didn't see, with that being said, you didn't see Lamar Jackson, you didn't see Burrow, you didn't see Josh Allen as far as getting to the Final 4 of teams, but you saw these teams all had good defenses outside of the Rams. And I'm not saying their defense was terrible.
Rams just didn't have a complete
They didn't have a complete, that's a good way of putting it. But then they also, I feel like the Rams had the most explosive offense out of all 4 teams, but they just couldn't stop everyone.
Okay. Let's talk about ranking. We have 60 Super Bowls, right? We have 60 Super Bowl winners. Would you think that this defense would be in the top 15 of defenses of the teams that have won it all?
Yeah, because it's a different deal, too. It's a different way. They've allowed the defense. It's against the offense has a lot more opportunities now than what it used to be. The scheming and some of the things that they allow the offenses to do with movement, with covering up, with hands and all of that. So, yes, this defense, to me, would be as good as any defense for the most part, top 15, top 12, something like that.
But not top 10.
No, probably not. Maybe not. Because they don't have they've got stars, don't get me wrong, but they don't have, like the stars. I mean, we talked about, even on the break, who was the most outstanding defensive player last night? It was Gonzalez from the Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, had he not played the way he played, it could have been 40-0 by the time halftime.
The Seahawks platoon players a little bit
move
more
better,
than they do. But no, it's probably not a top 10 D because they're not, prolific in takeaways.
Right.
But they do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
They stay in their lanes, they tackle, they keep the ball in front of them. I mean, they do what they're supposed to do. It may be one of the top 10 coaching jobs I've seen with a football team.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is, because I thought this team got as much as they could out of what they had.
Yeah, and I mean, I know our mic sponsor, Ty Humpert, he made a point to say on Friday that heavy Michigan presence is on that coaching staff. So he's going to say,
let me rethink.
He's going to definitely push that point. But Mike McDonald, fantastic. I mean, realistically, great game plan. Had a tough season had a tough schedule all year, played all the top teams and did really good. I mean, yeah, he didn't win Coach of the Year like Vrabel did, but and Vrabel did great on his regard too, turning his team around. The difference between this year's team and last year's team, Seattle's, can we just say Geno Smith and Sam Darnold?
Well, it's not all the way that simple. They added a few little pieces to the defense, but I think also removing DK Metcalf and elevating Jackson Smith and Jigba. If you look at the duos, so you had Metcalf and Smith and Jigba. I don't think Smith and Jigba works great as a 2, and DK Metcalf wasn't, even though he's been in the league a little longer, he's not the big veteran presence. Now, contrast that with JSN being the number 1, which I think he is, and then augmenting that with a veteran like Cooper Kupp.
Very cool.
The difference in those receiving rooms, even though DK Metcalf is an unbelievably talented receiver, that I would take the pair of JSN and Cooper Kupp every day of the week over Metcalf and JSN. And I think that helped with that. Not so much in the Super Bowl, but certainly on the run-up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I think that's a big deal when you talk about continuity with your team. I think that's really where it's at. When you're able to gel and be good, you might not have the star power, but if all your pieces fit together, that makes a big difference.
And real quickly, to the caller's point earlier, you got to have luck. I don't care how good you are. You got to have things fall your way. Kenneth Walker being healthy this year cannot be understated.
Yeah.
Because, he was right. He'd been injured pretty much his entire career. Mm-hmm. And, just having him there was a big difference.
Now, here's the thing. Smith and Jigba, he's a complete stud this year.
Yeah.
How come Cooper Kupp wasn't, as a second wide receiver, having more catches in a bigger year? Is he just not the same as he used to be?
Well, the defense was so good all year, they didn't have to have it. Right. So in the latter parts of the games, they were running the football, and they were getting first downs, so they didn't have to have Cooper catch 60 to 80 catches a year.
And McDaniel and the offensive coordinator, they didn't use Cooper the same way he was used in L.A. Mm-hmm. In L.A., they used him a lot for, they threw him the ball a ton in order to open the over-the-top for Nakua. Mm-hmm. With Smith and Jigba, everybody thinks, he goes over the top. He can do everything, but they target him a lot. That's his role.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp is going to be more the possession receiver, the second check down the third. They went to their tight end a good bit. They have, the only thing they really didn't do well, like we said, is throw it to the running back out of the backfield very well.
Yeah. And if you look at another thing about that McVay-style offense, too, instead of running for short yards, they'll throw the pass for short yardage.
Oh, yeah.
So if they're 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s, they're still looking for passing. And Cooper Kupp was excellent at running the routes on those.
But let's be honest, they're not even average at doing that because there's so many other teams that use a little flat passes all day long. This team is definitely below average.
And here's why it's different, because Cooper Kupp is at a stage in his career and in his mentality, he can come in. He doesn't have to get X amount of targets. He's wanting to go out there and contribute to another ring because he knows he's on the backside of his career. And I don't even mean that as a shot necessarily against Metcalf or other. It's just a totally different mentality. Yeah. He did exactly what they needed for them this year. He filled that role that they needed.
And don't think for a second he hadn't teach JSN some routes. So, but either way, when we come back, we are going to dive into a question. We haven't gotten there yet, but I'm going to ask these guys something. I want to see where you're thinking. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text in now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290.
She's all you ever wanted. So this Valentine's, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is giving you more of what your heart desires. College basketball.
At the buzzer!
First, it's Florida versus Kentucky. Tip-off at 1:30.
Followed by Auburn at Arkansas at 7. On your home for college basketball. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Monday's weather. Tonight there will be a light breeze out of the south, a variety of slight fog, and mostly clear skies and 56. Some sun and slight fog tomorrow morning, about the same at 66. In the afternoon and evening, partly cloudy and slightly foggy, and a high of 68. About the same at 69 Wednesday, and we'll have slight fog. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover the new. Stop by and drive the all-new 2026 Kia, where comfort, safety, and technology come together like never before. Explore the new 2026 SUV family that moves you and drive away in a new 2026 Seltos, Sportage, or Sorrento that are built to inspire every journey. Craving performance? Feel the thrill in the luxurious 2026 Kia K5 sedan, crafted for power, style, and you. And for innovation that sparks excitement, check out the 2026 all-electric Kia EV9, a modern masterpiece that's fast-charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. It's the peace of mind that you can trust. Visit us at 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or online at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for details.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
PLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX name. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
To the rack. Layup good and one. Up for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it. To the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Catch select Florida Gator basketball games on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The pulse of the fan. The voice of the game.
Maybe we should go and find another G League player to the Alabama team, and we probably could win.
Local and louder than ever. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is 5 o'clock on a Monday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, your spot for Orlando Magic basketball. They will be right after the show today, 6 o'clock. Don't forget to listen to Paulo Banchero and the boys. Killing it up there, or down there in Orlando. Got Jeffrey here, Brian's here, Bone Crusher's here. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of this, you can be. 850-215-6290. We've been talking a lot about the Super Bowl, and obviously we should be, because it was last night, and that's what we do. We talk about it. We give our analysis, our professional analysis. So, guys, let's talk about it. I want to talk about something that now you've seen the last two Super Bowls. You've got good to possibly great defenses, and then with quarterbacks who what people have always called game managers. And I just want to know how you guys feel about this, because realistically, the last 7 Super Bowls, you've got Patrick Mahomes, you've got Matthew Stafford, but the last 2, you've got Sam Darnold and you've got Jalen Hurts. Neither one of you guys can say with a straight face that Jalen Hurts and Sam Darnold are star powerful, win games, win Super Bowls, is going to be that guy. Now, you might say Matt Stafford's that guy, with him just winning the MVP. First time, just kind of like, yeah, he won a Super Bowl once. Matt Stafford's a really good quarterback. He's at the end of his career with being 44 years old. Patrick Mahomes, who's been the star of the league for the last 10 years. And now we've got 2 Super Bowl wins by 2 guys that have good defenses and just being able to move the ball a little bit. Let me ask you this. Brian, I'll go to you first. Do you think we are moving into another area? Because Lamar Jackson, never been there. Joe Burrow, been there once. Josh Allen, never been there. All these new guys, Jaden Daniels, who they, oh my gosh, was going to win the Super Bowl next year or last year or this year or whenever year.
It's only been he made 2 years.
I know, because he made it to the championship, right? Are we going to see more of this, where we're not going to necessarily see the star power of the quarterback position going to wield their teams to Super Bowl victories? Are we going to see game managers now winning Super Bowls?
It's not that simple, but, I found it funny, because some of the things that I've seen talking about that, the game managers, remember for the first several years of Tom Brady's career,
Yes.
That's what he was called.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not sure he ever really got, he wasn't a gunslinger the way Favre was, like Rodgers, even Manning, guys that went out and won it for you. It's like Mickelson in golf. They were going to go for it, but there were times they were going to fall on their face as well. Brady really didn't do that unless he was playing the Giants. So what are you going to do? But no, I do think the game is slightly different. You're not seeing the rules enforced in the way that leads to the 53-50 kind of games like you were 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's not as bad. Even in college, you're starting to see it be a little bit more about the lines and about playing solid defense. But I think the biggest factor to what you're asking is the cap. Because there are several ways to organize a football team now. You can go all in with a high-level quarterback and pay them a ton of money and hope that they can win it for you, because you're not going to be able to spend all the money. Or if you get lucky, you do what New England did, where a lot of guys gave up money, Brady included. Now, the other way to do it, and that's why I think you saw Joe Burrow there in, I think, year 2. You've seen Drake May there in year 2. Jalen Hurts was there early on. You get a quarterback who's got some ability, whether as a manager or as a winner, on a rookie deal, and you can spend real money everywhere else. That, to me, is the biggest thing. I think what you've seen in the last 6, 8 years, more teams trying to lean on the quarterback rookie deal as how they're going to organize their team to try and win.
So what do you think, Jeffrey? Do you think it's going to move over? Do you think they're going to spread the money out? Do you think it's going to be a quarterback-driven? But are you going to still consistently see stars winning championships? Because as of right now, the last 2 years, That's not, I get it. They tried to push Jalen Hurts and put him on the pinnacle, and then we saw what happened this year, not so good. So realistically, is this league going to go that way? Are we going to get back to winning football games with Jim McMahon-style quarterbacks with good defenses and good running games?
No, I mean, I agree with what he's saying. I don't think it's just going to be everybody's in this one box and everybody. I mean, the rookie deals, I totally understand that. You have to have a marquee name and just add pieces around them, you know? If you get somebody who's a rookie deal and he's a good quarterback, you know, it attracts other people to come play with him, like a Jaden Daniels or Josh Allen. I mean, you can build off of that name.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But it will, but it's just like with, let's use Burrow and the Bengals for an example. He's got the wide receivers. They took the pay cuts. They did the things, but they still aren't making playoffs. They're still not there.
They have one of the worst defenses in the league.
That's why.
And offensive line, too.
Yeah, I mean, and they've had injury issues. I mean, you can't use the Bengals as a be-all. The thing I think that's the true success of the NFL is that you've had both. You know, I just gave you those examples. Brock Purdy's another one, you know, where you've got the quarterbacks on the rookie deal. You've had a lot of those make it a big run through the playoffs and whatever. You've also at the same time had Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, the quarterback-led teams that won it kind of based on that. So the fact that we have this kind of clash of ways of organizing your football team, to me, is the success of the NFL. If it was so simple as just following this carbon copy and everybody tried to do the same thing, it'd be boring. You know, but what you have, like not even the Seahawks can be said to be that. Sam Darnold made pretty good money this year because of what he did last year. Now, he's not on a Dak Prescott kind of super max deal, you know, to borrow a line from the NBA, but they were able to do it a slightly different way in that they went out and got a guy. Had to pay him a little bit, but they also had a lot of key elements on their rookie deals. JSN's still on one. Kenneth Walker's still on one. So I do think you have to have some key pieces on those rookie deals, the way the cap is currently structured, to make a real run, or you have to have the most unselfish team in history.
But then are we going to get to the second part of the question, which is we are going to get those guys after they've failed somewhere else and being brought over, because now you're going to have that, because realistically the best quarterback that played almost lights out and almost beat the Seattle Seahawks was Phillip Rivers, who was 2 years or two games into his little run comeback. Do you realize that? I mean, that was who almost beat them. The Seahawks went down and kicked a field goal with no time left on the clock to beat the Colts. So realistically, these guys, as they get older, now you got a Sam Darnold that's kind of like, well, is he figuring this game out? Is he going to be something, great for the next couple of years and going to have an opportunity to win again? Or is it going to be, because when you look at the Super Bowl runs, yes, that Brady made, his most prolific year, they lost to the Giants. But the other games, they ran the ball, played really good defense, and had a turnover or two, and that was realistically what won the game for them in the Super Bowl. If you look at him, he hardly ever threw over 300 yards in a Super Bowl, ever, in all of the wins that he had. And so that's what I'm trying to get at. Are we getting to the place where they're going to pull back a little bit and not value the quarterback as much? Because everybody that we've named as a top 10 quarterback going into every single year, your Lamar Jacksons, your Burrows, your Josh Allens, and those guys, they're not anywhere to be found. Our quarterbacks now, obviously Stidham, but Bo Nix was hurt. You got Bo Nix. You got Matthew Stafford, star. You got Drake May, and then you got Sam Darnold in the top four. Is this a one-year fluke? Maybe, but going forward, we could possibly see it. I'm just saying, it's a good.
Well,
thought.
I mean, the fact that you had all four, and again, Stafford's kind of the outlier there. You could put him in either camp, really, but. Yeah, I think it's more of a fluke, because what we've seen historically over at least the last 7-8 years is you've seen a couple of the guys who are on rookie deals, and you've seen a couple of the guys who are more the star quarterback. So I think it's just a matter of taking a different path to the same end. Each one will get you there. It's just which way. The thing about Seattle is they caught lightning in a bottle this year. Everything worked. Mm-hmm. Now, will that happen again next year? They could be just as talented. In fact, they could improve on paper. But we've seen it in college football. Mm-hmm. Most famously, Alabama goes undefeated, wins the national championship 2009. The 2010 team is the best semblance of talent probably ever at Alabama. They lost 3 games that year. Yeah. They had everybody back except McElroy, and you could say they upgraded at quarterback. Mm-hmm. They were all, Ingram was back. Richardson was older. They were way better on defense. They lost 3 games that year. You got to get the combination right, and sometimes you don't. So Seattle could be every bit as talented and have all of the right pieces again, but you might have an injury here. You might have a difference in schedule. You've got to get the balance right, and that's very difficult.
I think of all the division winners, I think they're the 3rd best at winning their division next year, after the Eagles and the Broncos. Yeah. I think the Seahawks would probably be 3rd, and then maybe the Patriots. Yeah.
Well,
so
the
a lot of teams will not be repeating next year.
There may be.
Yeah, the Seahawks are in a very tough division, too.
Brock Purdy's going to be back.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to go to the Red 17's phone line. We got Chris on the line. Chris, how you doing today, man?
Gentlemen, how we doing? I'm doing great.
We're doing wonderful, man.
Just not piggyback, but a lot of the thing, too, is you got to think about all the places people on the team that don't have a salary cap. Does the coach fit with the quarterback? Does the management know what the coach wants to do as an identity? And then you see, like what Brian said, like don't use the Bengals as any type of anything for anything. Same with the Clowns. Don't bring and same with the Jets. Like don't bring them into anything. You saw what they did with Darnold. Yeah. And what Darnold had to do, he had to go to San Francisco. Colin Cowherd made a point about 10 years ago, and it's like if you get the QB right, the coach right, and the management right, you're going to have a winning formula. Are you going to win a Super Bowl every year? No, because there's too many bounces. Like Peyton Manning could have won more than 2 Super Bowls. Tom Brady shouldn't have won 6. I can argue he could have won more or less. Bounces went his way when they shouldn't have, and vice versa. So, getting to the playoffs consistently, I feel like you got to have the right culture. I know the question was about quarterbacks, and about having the special recipe, but there's so many things that can happen in an NFL season. Like, you got the right recipe with the Ravens, but then the quarterback goes down for, like, half the season. True. It's just, injuries, you can't foresee injuries happening, and some quarterbacks are more injury-prone than others. And you can't foresee, certain defensive players going down as well. And I just feel like, with the NFL, you got to have the right culture in place so that the players can fit a role that they need to. Like, look at Belichick. He's turning offensive players into defensive specialists, when the time is right. And he's going out there in, like, the AFC Championship game, and you have Julian Edelman covering somebody on defense because that's what he needed to do. Yeah. So you got to have the right coach in there, and you got to make sure that the coach hasn't lost the locker room. For as upbeat and exuberant as Pete Carroll is, eventually the players just stop listening to him. Yeah. It's probably going to happen to Sean McVay at some point in time. Look at the Steelers. They kind of caught in limbo. So you got to have the right mix of everybody to make it work. And the quarterback just needs to be able to fit what the coach is doing, because if he doesn't, then you're just going to be lost. Yeah, that's true. Like Ben Johnson this year, like finally honing in Caleb Williams. Now, are the Bears going to be a good defensive team going forward? We don't know. They're probably going to focus on a lot of offensive needs. But it's, at least they've got the identity going to see what they can do.
Well, and the irony in this whole argument is everybody we brought up kind of being that one that we thought might be the next to make the play. Burrow, Allen, Jackson, Mahomes, before that Brady. We're talking about in the last 15 years, you have Brady and Mahomes essentially locking down the AFC, and let's say there are 2 of maybe the 3 or 4 in the GOAT conversation now. Right. I think you've elevated Mahomes in there with Montana and whatever, but you look at that, all the guys that we think are the next to come up, they've run into that.
Yeah.
I mean, every one of the only one I can think of in the NFC that you would put somewhat in that conversation in the last 15 years is Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Rodgers only won one. It's more surprising to me that we haven't seen that level of quarterback in the NFC. Now, Brady jumped for, whatever, a year or two, 3 years, whatever it was. But then Mahomes filled in for him. So, that's the other thing in looking at Lamar and Allen and those guys is that they're going up against some of the best of all time.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It's more surprising to me we haven't developed that level of quarterback in the NFC for whatever reason.
That's a good point. Yeah.
If Baker Mayfield doesn't win the division next year for the Bucs, Todd Bowles is gone.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Chris, we sure do appreciate the call, my friend. I value your opinion, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Y'all have a great one. It was good talking some NFL a little bit.
All right, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, no, that really does it does make the biggest sense of running into two greats like that back to back, and then these other guys not being able to stand up to it. And then that's why you see a Stafford or now you see a Darnold having the opportunity. Why? When those guys are no longer there. And that just makes you wonder, that's why everybody and their mother was pushing for Josh Allen to finally win it this year because of Patty Mahomes being out. And they say, okay, it's your turn. You're finally going to get it. And then boom, nothing.
I could name two great quarterbacks in the AFC back in the days who were huge and couldn't slip through to the Super Bowl again. Montana when he went to the Chiefs, and Marino with the Dolphins in the 90s because it was Jim Kelly and it was John Elway.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And you got to look at John Elway. Think about John Elway when you look at all of these things, talking about the later, the latter part of your years. Elway tried to win it all. Mm-hmm. With himself early on, running and doing all those things.
How many did they lose in the 80s? Three?
They lost
three of them, yeah. And then his 90s year, he got a good running back of Hall of Fame. Then he started getting the wide receivers, and his line was good.
Well, he had receivers.
Let's be honest.
He was more experienced.
Let's be honest, though. The first one, they were lucky against the Packers.
That's true. But he still was able to, he learned how to manage the game. So his longevity. So, being there for a while, it does make a big, big difference. But either way, we got to go to a break. When we come back, you know what time it is. PCB Hobby Time. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Now.
This is Touchstone Service.
The Red 70 studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Monday's weather. Tonight there will be a light breeze out of the south, a variety of slight fog, and mostly clear skies and 56. Some sun and slight fog tomorrow morning, about the same at 66. In the afternoon and evening, partly cloudy and slightly foggy, and a high of 68. About the same at 69 Wednesday, and we'll have slight fog. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at Jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief. From medical marijuana card certification certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. Thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
You survived the workday. Now survive the truth.
Don't you want to have the best 12 teams in college football playing each other?
From the Emerald Coast to the edge of the atmosphere, it's time for the hardest hitting 2 hours on the Panhandle. Now into the huddle with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, your place for college basketball. Don't forget Tuesday, Auburn versus Vanderbilt right here, right after the show. And don't forget, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290, the Red 7Ts phone line. Your place for all things custom apparel, Red 7Ts. Visit them on Facebook or just online. But we are pumped up about this segment. We've got PCB Hobby in the building. The captain is here, and he's brought his lovely, fantastic wife with him, who we like better than him anyway. So great to have you today.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
Happy Monday, everybody. What's going on? Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful week, and it's supposed to warm up, thank God.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh.
Might actually be Florida.
It might actually be Florida again tomorrow.
Everyone comes from the east, and they're like, okay, this is what we were trying to escape.
Yes. They inevitably bring it down to
Can I
us.
throw something in real quick? Everybody always argues after the Super Bowl, what was the best commercial, this, that, or the other. I saw the best commercial last night.
And?
Captain Collectible.
That's right.
Yes,
we all saw it. I was so excited.
PCB Hobby was on
PCB
the
Hobby, best commercial. Honestly, like I told them when I walked in, guys, that we're not talking Super Bowl today.
All right, that's all I'm going to do.
That's all we're saying. That's all we're going to say. I'm not talking about the halftime show. Stupid. I'm not talking about the game. Boring. I'm not talking about the commercials. Lack thereof. I'm not. So don't call in and say, what'd you think about the game? I don't care.
Okay.
I think we have a lot of Sam Darnold cards.
Well, it actually is my show. Last time I checked,
your show.
Last time I checked, for 20 minutes, this is my show.
And we're down to 18. And we're down to 18 now. So
Paul gets to sit in on my show.
Okay.
And we're at 17 minutes now. So.
Time's ticking. Anyways, we're doing good. We're having a good time at PCB Hobby, and it's just been busy. It's just been real busy. Again, we got the store opening in Orlando. Pretty excited about that. We'll be traveling down this week and checking on the progress. It's supposed to be fairly close to being ready to start putting stuff in and stuff.
Fantastic.
But basically by the end of the month, we're still waiting on permits, things like that. So there's a lot going on with that. But that's kind of the update for now as far as that goes. MegaCon is next month, the 18th it kicks off, March 18th. And so we'll all be down there for that. PCB Hobby will. We just got back from Atlanta Collecticon today, and that was TCGs and sports cards and comics. We did a kind of a trio of things up there, and it was very successful. Had a good time, spent a lot of money buying inventory. So if you check out our TCG stream, we will have a ton of new stuff starting tomorrow. So it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of neat new things that a lot of people haven't seen before. So that's exciting. We also did streaming while we were up there. That was fun. They did a really good job. They had to voice the song, the singer of the Pokemon song that everybody knows. Everybody knows the general
Didn't he
Pokemon
write it
song.
too,
I don't know if he
something?
wrote it, but I know he sings it. And so he was on stream with us. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. He signed some cards and we did some stuff with that. And then they all arrived back and unloaded all the inventory today. So that was really cool. Other than that, we're still streaming away. We're starting to break out a lot of new inventory for the coin side of things today. So if you follow our coin stream, remember PCB Hobby on eBay. If you follow our eBay lives, we have some really cool new coin inventory as well.
Now, as far as the coins go, kind of give a little bit of an update to where, because everybody freaked out a little bit when it dropped, and you walked us through all of that. Walk us through where it is right now and kind of how
it's still very volatile, but it's kind of sitting around that $77 to $83 mark right now. So it went up a little bit today. It was around 83 most of the day. Wasn't too volatile. Markets have closed in the U.S. and now it's dropped again, down to 81. What does that mean? Nothing. I mean, you've got each market pulling at each other, honestly. Right. Gold's around 5,000, which it should be. Really, we'll probably see gold around 5,000, up and down a little percentage here and there. But it'll probably stick for a while at that. Probably this whole year, honestly. And then silver will probably rest somewhere around that, anywhere from $80 to $100 mark. But that doesn't mean don't invest in it. Again, we're still talking about hedging against inflation, as we've talked about in previous segments. And so you don't want to be confused that, not buying it or selling it off right now is the way to go. There's I'll tell you one more time, and I've said it 100 times on this show, that it is not an investment. You do not buy silver and gold for investment. You buy it for the hedge against inflation. It's as simple as that. If you cannot understand that, I'm sorry. I get it. It was $30 an ounce 2 months ago, and now it's $80 an ounce, and you could have made a whole bunch of money. But really, could you have? I don't know. Yeah. The fact of the matter is the dollar's weaker than it ever has been up until just this last couple of days.
Just got a little stronger.
Now, if anybody wants to know why this has happened, the second Trump put out that there was a new Fed chair. Yeah. It's the second to drop $20, $25, $30.
Right.
That's because everyone has hope. Okay. Hope that things will be better, that things are going to get better. And that's great. And I love it. And the dollar got stronger and all that type of stuff. And when the dollar gets stronger, silver and gold will go down because it's a commodity. Again, that's the hedge.
But it's no different than sentiment for stocks.
Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
It does come down to emotion.
Yeah, it comes down to emotion and sentiment. So to be real, silver should have been $100 years ago.
Right.
So this is nothing new. It should be this level. It really should. And gold really should be at the level it's at, especially with inflation. They almost never went up that much on these commodities that they should have gone up because of inflation alone, right? And so it's in a good spot, I think, right now. I think we're in a good spot. This will wane. The new Fed chair will get in, and then everybody will realize, well, nothing changed, right? Because nothing ever changes with the government. Let's be real. I mean, and I'm not being mean. I'm just it doesn't. You have a bunch of bureaucracy, and it is what it is. So to sit there and say the levels of silver and gold and the dollar are based on those things, wrong. They should strictly be based on what the economy really is doing. And right now, there are a bunch of people hurting. On the flip side, there's a bunch of people making good money. On the flip side, there's tariffs. On the flip side, there's some tariffs are lower than others, and it will work itself out. The jobs will be created, the manufacturing will start gearing up, and we will get out of this in a very good fashion. But don't be shocked if the dollar does get stronger and silver and gold go down even further, because that's what happens. It's a commodity. It's the ebb and flows of it. So that's my piece. I'll leave it at that. Good. That's it for silver and gold.
Well, I think and the other thing, I don't obviously know that much about macroeconomics on this issue, but I think one of the things that happened, we talked about last week that it was this perfect storm of events. I think one of the things that happened by that was that I think we cleaned out some of the speculators,
thank God,
people who were playing silver and gold like stocks,
like an investment.
That's
it's
right.
not an investment.
And I think that.
Again, that shouldn't be your goal.
That's right. I wasn't sure of that when we just dropped 30%. What I was sure of that by, you didn't see them play back in.
That's it.
So I think it scared a few of them out.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Right, but which is good, though, in a way, because now I do think, and, the irony is, I agree with you on the strength of the dollar, but the funny thing is, if the new Fed chair does what I think Trump wants him to do, in theory, there should be a short-term spike in inflation anyway.
100%.
So
right, which means silver and gold will jump up again for a little while.
But following the market the way it should, not based on the speculative
Mark my words,
effort.
This is a really good level.
Yeah.
This is a good level. And I think this is where it should stick, whether it goes way up again and then back down. I think this level, we are very congruent with how it should be, how it should have corrected from years and years and years of not getting corrected, and paper being used to push it down. Done with that.
Now it's down.
Anyways, here we go. So, how is the shop doing?
It's great. Getting February off and rolling.
Good news that what you got.
Oh, well, see, I did. I bought a big collection on Friday. A lot. I'm still working my way through it. It's a lot of stuff. So probably Wednesday-ish, you should see it all out. But it's a lot of stuff and a lot of good names. Kobe's, Jordans, Wembanyama, a lot of basketball, but also some Brady's. Not as much baseball this time, which is good because we bought a big one while I was gone Saturday.
Nice.
That was a lot of baseball stuff. So, and it's every range. We have a lot more depth at the $3 to $10 level now too, which was starting to weed out. But we've replenished that, and then we've also gotten some really high end stuff. As it relates to
because
that's right,
because spring break is coming up.
You know, Brian, I love that. We're coming up on our 4th year anniversary, and I love the fact that in every one of the collectibles that we deal with, we run the gamut from the lowest.
That's right.
To the highest.
That's right.
I love that we have that range.
Well, and I've always found the interesting thing how, we start getting low and I start getting worried on things, and then something appears.
Right.
Like we go out and we make.
We said things will walk through the door.
But like we go to Atlanta and we go there specifically to buy stuff. So we go out to try and make things happen, but then these other ones just kind of appear. I mean, I'm going to go look at several other collections in the next couple of weeks for things. I sold a lot of vintage stuff today, so I got to replenish that. Well, I'm going out to see something that has some vintage in it. So
and you've got that combination working for you.
Beyond just the new inventory, which is exciting enough, we've actually got a few things coming up that are really super exciting. This Wednesday, 2026 Series 1 drops. The boxes are in the shop, and I have not seen that big a delivery from FedEx to our shop in a very long time. We have a lot of stuff. This Saturday is Super Saturday, just in time for all of this new stuff. And guess what? Let me put it on your radar. We'll talk more about it next Monday. Next Saturday, the 21st, Topps Rip Night.
Oh, wow.
There's going to be all kind of cool promotions and products related to that, and it's all about coming together, ripping a bunch of packs. Having Series 1 out for that is perfect, but they've also got Stadium Club coming out next week. There's a ton of new products out.
Very nice.
And Topps Rip Night is always one of the most fun customer events that we have.
They always have cool T-shirts.
Yeah, so a lot going on. I mean, those are the major releases. There's a lot of little things coming, but the major one, Series 1 on Wednesday. And then again, next Wednesday will be Topps Stadium Club, which is a photography-based set. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to the old days, when Todd and I were looking for Mark Grace and those guys.
Oh, yeah,
true statement right there.
But I was a little kid, so y'all were way older.
Oh, my God.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, don't want to talk about the game, but I do want to talk about the players in the game. With Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was great.
Obviously, you said last week that you had gotten some autographed Sam Darnold stuff. Do you still have some of that available?
Some is the operative word because we've sold a lot of them in the run-up. But we also talked about Darnold probably had the most likelihood of being good either way as far as sales, and him winning is good. So the point is we do still have several things in there, and they're still... they haven't spiked insane. That was one of the things I didn't love about the run-up with Drake May is I thought his spiked out of reality. Darnold's haven't. They've gone up, but they should have because he's had a good run. But they haven't gone crazy. So there's still some relatively affordable, good Sam Darnold, like rookie autographs with game use patches on them. I mean, there's some good stuff in the shop that we have there. So yeah, that worked out really well because if May had won and thrown for 400 yards, we don't have much Drake May.
Well, yeah, and that's with him being a second-year player. That's
and we want to be able
too.
to have things that our customers want. Yeah. And look, after an exciting Super Bowl like that, let's say you won a little money on the Seahawks, or you had them in a square or something like that, and you're excited about it, and you want to go out and get a card of the guy that you just saw win the Super Bowl. I like the fact that we have those available.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is fantastic. What else you got going on?
What about Kalshi? That is an interesting thing.
I'm not sure I love that whole thing.
That's interesting.
Look, as somebody who spends most of my life gambling, and that's where I was Saturday, was over there again. The prediction markets to me are... I like the fact that gambling is out there, but I like the fact that it's regulated too.
Right, and Kalshi
a lot of these prediction markets are not. There are loopholes right now around a lot of things, and they're going to get reined in.
Yeah.
Look,
well, they're going to have to.
I don't necessarily... I don't know how you feel on this. I don't really care to get into telling people how to live their life, but there's a lot of predatory tendencies around the prediction markets now that don't exist in gambling, and that's amazing to think. But
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't have one way or the other. I've never even heard that word until my wife just said it. So I'm going to stay out of this one.
There you go.
Okay, something we can talk about is the Jake Paul Pokemon card.
Okay, check it out at CAC Atlanta. That's Collecticon Atlanta. They were there. Who's the guy, the king of collectibles? Golden. Okay, Ken Golden. So the Goldens were there, and they had Jake Paul's Pokemon card that he wore around his neck displayed.
It's like on a gold
chain and displayed, and everybody got to go up to it one at a time. Security was there.
10 million.
Wow. And they got to take a picture with it and all that stuff. So Bill FaceTimed me and showed me it. Everything.
It was cool.
So that's
bodyguards all around.
Oh, yeah. So that's cool. I mean, we got to see
Bill
all
said
that.
I kept walking up there, and they kept looking at me like,
what are you
we
trying to do?
Tackle you?
That's funny.
Anyways, so
that's
it's
neat.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Our next Collecticon's in Miami. That's in 2 weeks from now. So not this weekend, but next weekend we'll be going down to Miami for the Collecticon down there, setting up and doing all that streaming. Doing all the live stuff that we typically do. We'll have a booth. We'll be buying, and it's gonna be amazing. So that's good. And both Ethan and Josh will be there. So we're buying sports cards and buying Pokemon. We will probably not have a comic presence because we're not driving. We are flying to that one. So that'll be cool. That'll be a lot of fun for them. And then in the comic book side of things, we're always getting new collections, new things coming through the door. We got a lot of older stuff. In fact, we're going to run a vintage stream tonight. So if you guys are listening and somebody wants vintage comic books, that's going to be 1985 and older. We're going to be running that tonight. Bill and I will be.
We've been tearing that up.
Yeah, we've been tearing it up. We've been doing a lot of shows with that. So
I was like a baby when that was.
I hate hearing the notion that vintage now encompasses 80s. It just
well, it does though.
I know, but
let's
it
talk
hurts
about
my
it.
feelings.
86 is 40 years. I mean,
it hurts my
It
feelings.
should hurt you. I know it should.
So you are vintage, Brian.
I'm well aware. I'm well aware.
Pink Panther. We had to run a Pink Panther
last week. We
loved
love that. We also had our artist spotlight was this last weekend. We had Greg Land in the building. He is a cover artist for Marvel, OG Marvel cover artist. He's done hundreds of covers, and he had a bunch of original art. That was fun. We sold several pieces of that. Sold remarks and signatures and sketches and stuff like that. So it was a pretty big weekend. Him and his wife,
guy too.
Him and his wife Trish came by, and we're here for the weekend. So that was
That's
cool.
great.
But
So
what's next?
So are you guys ready for this? Not this weekend. This weekend on February 14th, we're having the absolutely in love with Batman. It's the Absolute Batman blind bag we're doing, and that's a title called Absolute Batman, but we have signatures, we have all kinds of craziness, and they're blind bags. So it's like gambling. Let's call it what it is. It's going to be amazing. But what's really amazing is the next weekend, our artist spotlight is the one and only Kevin Eastman.
Wow.
OG creator of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wow.
So that's the same weekend as Rip Night. What a weekend.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
It's going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty. Anyways, he's going to be in the building. His wife's going to be there. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be crazy. So we're super excited. But that's not this weekend. That's next weekend. So 2 big events in a row, weekend to weekend on the comics.
I'm glad Brian
Again,
said that, though, because I didn't realize that it was going to coincide. Yeah.
And so that's PCB Hobby. Is on eBay. That's our user ID, PCB Hobby. Check us out. We always have streams going on, but go scroll down our events and see which ones we have coming up because we have a lot of them out there already. As far as that, visit our store. Store's at 11939 Panama City Beach Parkway. Phone number 850-320-8388. We're on Back Beach next to Florida Linens, as I always say.
In Orlando, March 2nd.
In Orlando, I gave you guys the address last weekend or last Monday. Wait till I see you in a couple weeks, and we will be ready to go to give you the address again and get you guys there.
We may have to call in on that Monday.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's going to be fantastic.
I might have to do a call in because
maybe we could do some.
I'm going to be down there for a little bit on and off, but I might be able to do some video or something, whatever you guys want to do.
So we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank y'all so much for coming in, and go see PCB Hobby right there by Florida Linens, who's going to be a sponsor eventually because you got to get that for
I'll
us.
talk to Lynn.
Either way, when we come back, we're going to dive into a little bit more of this Super Bowl talk. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Get it again. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
The SEC and Big Ten make so much more money than everybody else.
They do. It's unbelievable.
Over $1 billion. And I think the Big Ten was more. They hadn't came out with theirs yet. This is
I don't know. We're going to have a real big bake sale. Okay. We need $437 million. Can you help us out? Buy a cookie?
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at Jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Ask for special ESPN Northwest Florida pricing.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfurt Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and one. Up for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. Dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Catch select Florida Gator basketball games on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Live, local, and now worldwide. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. Serving the universe at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, and we're excited and pumped up that you've joined us today on this beautiful Monday right here in the Panhandle. Don't forget you can call in, you can text in on the Red 70s phone line 850-215-6290. We've got breaking news, and this is a first for everybody here to hear this, but Tuscaloosa County Circuit Court Judge Daniel Pruitt has denied Charles Bediaco's injunction against the NCAA, making him ineligible to play. So the Alabama Crimson Tide has lost their guy from the G League. So there you go. They do not have to forfeit any of the games before, but going forward, he cannot play. He is ineligible to play for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Do you like it?
Well, I like the decision, but this judge is clearly biased because he only sees the Alabama players as murderers.
Oh, man.
Because he's the one who's got the Darius Miles case and all. No, yeah. I don't know the legalities of the whole thing, but no, from a practical perspective, yeah, I like it because I think the NCAA was right on this one to deny him, and I hate that, judges got involved. I always hate it when judges get involved.
See, I do too. I hate it. I hated the fact that he was involved, and I'm just so glad, honestly. Yes, I'm an Alabama fan all the way through and through, but I didn't like it. I didn't love that part. Jeffrey, what do you think? Are you glad he's gone?
Well, I mean, if he didn't take anybody's spot, they should just play with four people on the court,
Yeah.
Well, that was the stupidest thought ever.
Well, then the problem is they probably could still beat LSU. So there you go in basketball anyway.
What's going to happen to this kid?
Well,
how old is he?
Let me tell you, for him, it actually helped because I do think it got his name back in the ether, got him some different tapes, some new tapes. Somebody will take a shot on him with the G League.
He'll play G League, or he could go overseas.
I think it actually refreshed him in the minds of a lot of people. I don't think he's going to get, picked up by the Knicks.
I don't know. The Knicks are pretty bad.
No, they're second.
They are? It's a nest I'm thinking of.
But what I'm saying is, I think it actually probably helped refresh him for some professional opportunity somewhere.
He'll play. He'll go somewhere. They'll have something, and he's made money, so that's the good thing about it is that he's going to be financially secure. So
I think the only losers in the deal is kind of the outside look of the Alabama program for the layperson. I think it was a bad look for Alabama and probably did a net negative to them. I mean, certainly didn't help them a ton on the court, even though they did, get Auburn, but I don't think it was anything Bediako did. And I think a lot of lay people who are on the fence about Alabama really have a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people liked it. Nate Oates began to be a talking point because of his, wanting him to come back, and then eventually, even against Auburn, giving him the hard hat award for the best player type deal. And, that whole thing is finally, hopefully it'll be behind us. Hopefully they won't try to somehow, some way go back into court and I don't want to see any more court. I'm with you. I don't love the courts being involved in college sports. Like, let's figure this out. Let's get it done so that we don't have to have any more of that stuff.
I'm surprised the Gators didn't get toxic and make sure it's like, we beat you and your G League player.
Well, I'm curious to see, obviously we're going to talk about it later on this week, but the Gators played Texas A&M, and that was a blowout, and I loved it, honestly, to be honest with you. Some of the stuff that was said, I've got some inside information about it, and Coach, Florida's coach, he's like, he just says it like it is, man. I like him.
But you got to remember, what's amazing to think is 14, 15 months ago, there was thought he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, they were.
Because they had the Title IX complaint against him, which a lot of people, myself included, thought was an alumni's hit job going after Strickland as the AD because he wouldn't fire Billy Napier at the time.
True.
But you look at where he's come from, because he wasn't very vocal even before that. He gets through that. He kind of, solidifies him after that. They go on this great run. He wins a national championship, and I'm glad he's speaking out a little bit.
Yeah, little arrogance, but I like it.
He's earned it.
We don't call it arrogance. We call it confidence.
He's earned it.
He has. His team is putting on the field or on the floor is really good. All right, so here we go. Last little bit. Let's talk about something that we always have to talk about with the Super Bowl, and that is the commercials. So obviously, a lot of people watch the commercials. People that aren't football fans watch the Super Bowl because of the commercials. And I already know what Jeffrey's favorite is.
No, you don't.
There's no possible way that it's not this one. The favorite for Jeffrey had to be with Jennifer Aniston, Tom Brady.
That was horrible.
And all of the older. We had Urkel.
It was the Goodwill Dunkin'. It was
the Goodwill
terrible.
Dunkin'. The Dunkin' Donuts commercial. That had to be Jeffrey's favorite because it reminded you of your childhood of seeing all those guys, Matt LeBlanc. And
it was
I have my top three right here, and that is not in the top three.
You
didn't think so?
No.
That was an awful commercial.
I thought that was great.
First of all,
you'll never guess.
Nothing's
mine.
ever going to beat the Darth Vader kid. That was my favorite one.
Volkswagen.
But I'm going to, because I didn't watch them real close, and I missed some of the first quarter, so those are usually the best ones. I can't say. I did like the Lost Dog one. It did pull at me a little bit. What's funny is I've been reading typical social media. People could find fault with, somebody hit the lottery and complain they didn't hit it for more. That's the nature of course. People now are going off on, this is the way the government can make us all feel good about surveillance state. Puppies.
Yeah.
I was like, get over yourself.
Oh, you're talking about the Ring commercial?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that one I do have to say kind of pulled at my heartstring just a little bit, but that's the only one I really remember. So I'll leave it to Jeff.
And I'm gonna let you do your top three, and you'll get almost
the
whole
Dunkin'
segment.
thing was awful.
But I will say this: I've got to say that probably the Budweiser with the horse and the ugly duckling who eventually turned out to be the eagle.
Yeah,
I think that was going to be probably one of yours because you're that sentimental guy, and you probably like Budweiser. All right, give me your three. Here we go.
Okay.
He's been dying to do this, guys. He's so excited.
No. You're the one that came up with the segment, and I'm like, okay, I'll go along with it. Because I really wasn't all into the commercials. I didn't think that this was definitely below average on commercials.
It was below average.
It was very below average. Okay, third one. Hellman's Mayonnaise Neil Diamond. That was pretty. That was pretty funny.
He walked around squirting mayonnaise on everybody's hamburger.
Yeah, and he was singing, and it was funny. It was hilarious.
Yeah. You had to be old to know what the song was.
Chris Hemsworth, Alexa, is when his wife kept on using Alexa, and then he started using Alexa, and he was like, "Oh, this is great," you know.
Yeah, that was
a good one.
You're a fan of his, so that's fine.
Now you're gonna hate me for this one. You ready for it?
Yeah.
The tight ends commercial for prostate cancer. Did you see it with Gronk?
Yeah.
It was freaking hilarious.
Now you don't have to actually go let them touch you. You can actually do it by drawing your blood now. And Gronk and who else was in there with
Bruce Arians. Well, they had all the tight ends that were, Gonzalez was in the commercial.
Yeah, tight ends. So it was,
tight ends.
That was comical.
But the way that they... It was just hilarious, man. The camera use was great.
Yeah, because you would have, so, you know, if you didn't watch it, it's definitely one to go back and look at because, it showed different tight ends.
Tight ends.
With their jeans on, sagging pants, some not sagging pants, some tight, some not, some whatever. So, yeah.
That was great.
The other one I remember because it was just so, I couldn't figure out what was going on. It looked like a karaoke screen, and it was a Backstreet Boys song.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't even remember who it was.
T-Mobile?
No, it wasn't T-Mobile, but it was...
It was Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller was...
No, that was Instacart. That was Instacart.
Yeah, but no, it was...
There was another... I
can't remember now. But it literally, the entire thing was like what a karaoke screen would be. And, you know, after like 5 or 10 seconds, I'm like...
What is going on? Yeah.
Did I sit on the remote? Did I change the... I didn't know what had happened. And it just kind of threw me. And then at the end, it was... whatever, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, but the Backstreet
Boys... It was just
Boys,
odd.
The Backstreet Boys came back. I mean, really, they were back because they were on a couple of different ones.
Well, yeah, man, they played the Sphere, man. They're back.
They're back. So
they're back.
I will say
Backstreet's back.
Yeah, that's right. You want to sing that?
No.
Okay,
don't.
Good.
All right. So Jeff and I are old enough to remember the original, the New Kids on the Block.
Or New Edition before that.
That's right.
Not Jackson 5, though.
No.
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you this. I will say I do love the bit, and I might be, whatever, but I do love the Uber Eats. I do like it. I like the Matthew McConaughey trying to prove that football is nothing more than
almost okay
a thing for everybody to eat. He said the field goal is nothing more than a fork with the two.
When he did the juicer, that one I did kind of laugh.
The juicer was
that
good.
Bradley Cooper lost his mind. At that one.
That was good. I thought that was good. Did you see that one?
Actually, I had the volume off on that one. So
it was the Hall of Fame building, and it was one of those where you look at, God, that does look like an orange juicer.
It does. So, for me, that one was my favorite. I thought that the tight ends was really funny. But the other ones, they were real, I don't know. They
had drug commercials. They had car commercials. There's just no humor in it.
Yeah, there wasn't anything that just stood out to me that made me go, oh my gosh, this is a great commercial, And obviously, like the Clydesdales of old, those type of commercials, those were the ones you always remember. And again, whether you like Budweiser or not, I'm not a fan, but Budweiser, that was kind of a tug at your heart a little bit. Had the little, the bald eagle at the end with the picture and all that.
So did you think that the horse had wings when it first came out with the wings? It looked like a Pegasus.
Yeah, but I knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
I knew that it was because he had been riding him the whole time. Bone Crusher, were you able to watch any? Did you see anyone that you like specifically?
The wife seemed to enjoy the Rocket mortgage commercial.
Oh yeah, they had a rocket.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I can't really remember. It seems like I remember something about the Rocket Mortgage, but I think it was about the dog. Wasn't that the same commercial?
No, the Ring commercial was the one about the lost dog and all like that. But No, it was.
I think it had something to do with dreams and getting houses and stuff like that. I think is what the Rocket wanted.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, though. At the end of the day, the Super Bowl, obviously, it wins the night for sure. Whether you watched the halftime show or you went to the alternative on the halftime show, if you liked the commercials, if you didn't like the commercials, if you like defense or if you liked offense. But one thing's set for sure. The Seattle Seahawks are the world champions.
That's right.
And whether they had big-time stars or not, they earned it. And, Sam Darnold's going to try to come back and do it all over again.
Bring on the draft, baby.
Yep, we're going to be not too far away from the draft, but we're almost done with it.
If they ever do a halftime show not in English, they better have English subtitles.
Good point. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining us today. We will be back tomorrow. We got some guests coming in the building. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. See you tomorrow, guys.
She's all you ever wanted.
So this Valentine's, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is giving you more of what your heart desires. College basketball.
At the buzzer!